What does proper insurance recommend management companies to do? So maybe you can answer that in two different ways, because I'm not totally sure exactly what this person's asking, but what do management companies need to do for insurance? And then maybe what do they need to require, or some sort of proof, or what sort of coverage do they want their property owners to have?
So, great question. And I have written extensively about this over the past 5 or 6 years. And it really boils down to the word additionally insured. Okay. And we're only talking about liability coverage here, because at the end of the day, a manager doesn't really have an interest in whether you have good fire insurance or not. It's just kind of not their concern. What they're concerned about is liability. So if you're a typical manager, let's say you manage 50 homes, right? What is your potential liability exposure? Well, it's huge, because you manage those homes. And we've had dozens of lawsuits that have been filed over the years where not only the owner gets sued, but the manager gets sued. So a great example is one that was in Big Bear, California, where there was ice on the walkway. A guest slipped and fell on the ice, and they sued the owner and the manager. I mean, really, the manager's the one salting and removing the snow, right? So it makes sense. They're managing the property. So this is a huge, huge exposure for managers. Their insurance, the insurance they have for their business, for their office location, for their employees, and so on, it does not extend liability coverage to the properties they manage. So their coverage is provided by the owner's insurance, period, end of story. That's why you always hear the term additionally insured. So I say, look, I will manage your property. I'll take care of it. I'll put it on Airbnb and Vrbo, and we'll make a bunch of money. Life will be great. But I need to verify your insurance coverage, and you need to add me, the manager, as additionally insured onto your policy. So that's pretty much it. Now, it's 50-50. Some managers address this up front, and they say, look, I require in my file that I have for your home, 123 West Main Street, I need to have a copy of your insurance, and I need to be added as additionally insured. Other managers, typically newer in the industry, who are on a growth trajectory, they kind of sweep it under the rug because they see it as a barrier to entry. They go, look, I tell my owner about insurance, they call their State Farm agent, they say they're not covered, the insurance is more expensive, it blows the whole deal up. I make money from managing homes, and I'm supposed to manage a home and then create a barrier to entry right off the bat. So that's part of the success of proper insurance. The reason we've gotten to over 40,000 policies written is because we partner with property management companies all over the US. And we tell managers, use it as an education point and be upfront with your owners, and you'll have a client for life. Because me as an owner of a home, if it's a long-term rental, and I'm debating whether I want to turn it into a short-term rental, I decide to take the leap of faith, and I call up my local manager and I say, guess what? The property's yours. I'm entrusting it to you. Let's do short-term rentals. And they tell me, okay, great, let's do it. But part of this onboarding process, you need to verify your insurance coverage. You need to add me as additional. Okay, I got it. And then I call my local agent, just like you did, Alanna, and you find out there's no coverage. You're not going to get upset with your property manager and say, oh my God, why did you tell me to call my agent? You're going to say, wow, thanks for doing that, because I was looking at another manager last year and they didn't say anything about insurance. What if I would have went with them, had them manage my house, somebody slipped and fell down the stairs, and I got sued and I had no insurance coverage? So it's education. You need to have a good insurance partner, a local broker, someone boots on the ground, but you also want to have a national partner like Proper as well. And we always tell managers, have 3 insurance referrals. Have your buddy from high school who has an office in your town, boots on the ground, have someone else, and then have Proper. Because between the 3 of us, we will get the job done in getting your clients the right insurance.
Great. The right insurance for the client, and then also insurance that properly covers these property managers, right? Because
right.
Another thing we talked about in one of the other videos is that if you're off premises, right? So
Right.
if your client has a insurance that's only on premises, you're not going to be covered if they're off on the bike that you're supposed to be taking care of and servicing and things like that.
Right, exactly, because the manager then is being added as additionally insured onto coverage that's really weak to begin with. So you just got added to a weak policy. And what it boils down to is commercial liability. Again, in the beginning, we talked, there's only three types of liability: personal, premise, commercial. And the industry is moving in the direction finally of just accepting the fact that short-term rentals are businesses and they need to carry business insurance. Because again, to that question, commercial liability does extend off premise. So if there's the bicycles and the canoes and those types of things, then the manager would have coverage. So really what they need to do if they want to be ahead of the game is say, one, we require you to have commercial liability, and two, we need to be added as additionally insured. But each manager is different, and they have to manage that how they see it.
Great. Thanks, Darren.